Hello and welcome to Create Context Weekly Movie Minute. This podcast is brought to you by createcontext.com. A link is in the description. Follow that for more movie review and film analysis. This week, we are talking about one of the biggest debates in modern cinema. Is Die Hard actually a Christmas film? John McTiernan's classic 1988 film Die Hard has become a staple of the action movie genre. The film is based on a 1979 novel titled Nothing Lasts Forever, and Die Hard is a borderline perfect movie. The action is stellar, the stakes are continually rising, and the major characters are iconic. But is Die Hard, as many would argue, a Christmas movie? Die Hard takes place in Los Angeles on Christmas Eve. NYPD Detective John McClane, played expertly by Bruce Willis, heads to the City of Angels to spend Christmas with his children and estranged wife, Holly Gennaro. When he arrives at her place of business, a towering Nakatomi Plaza, the building is seized by German thieves. The setup and premise are standard action movie fodder, but its Christmas Eve setting brings into question if Die Hard can be recognized as not just an action classic, but also a Christmas flick. Now, there are a ton of alternative Christmas movies in the subsequent years, with Christmas becoming such a big money-making film genre, and all of these other smaller genre films also becoming big movies. The number of alternative Christmas titles have exploded in popularity. These are movies like Santa's Sleigh, Krampus, but it even goes back to 1974's Black Christmas. They can all fall under this category of alternative Christmas movies. These are films that take place during Christmas but fall distinctly into a different genre, typically like the horror genre, but any kind of genre would do. It's easy to just throw Die Hard into that category, but I actually think Die Hard may be more than just an alternative Christmas title. While films like Batman Returns and Reindeer Games are fun to watch at Christmas, they have a distinct and separate theme from what you would find in a standard Christmas movie. Die Hard firmly places itself in the action genre, but there are several themes in that film that align with the more traditional Christmas movie. Christmas movies typically follow a few different tropes. While not all encompassing, there are three standard plots that give away right from the jump whether a movie can be considered a Christmas film. The first are the fantastical films that revolve around the myth of Santa Claus. These are flicks like The Santa Claus, Elf, and Miracle on 34th Street. They're all easily identifiable as Christmas films. The next is films that borrow Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol narrative. That may seem narrow, but a surprising amount of Christmas movies follow this trope. Scrooged, Spirited, The Muppets Christmas Carol, and countless Hallmark movies steal this now iconic narrative. And finally, the broadest of the category, there are movies that are just about families and the true meaning of Christmas. These films have little to no supernatural element, but take place at Christmas time and typically involve themes of family or becoming a better person. The family Christmas movie usually falls under the comedy genre and has a PG or PG-13 rating. This isn't always the case. Some films like Bad Santa or Office Christmas Party have tried to move into R-rated comedy territory with various degrees of success, but they all share similar themes to what we would describe as a standard Christmas movie. Two classic examples of these movies are Home Alone and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. No one would argue that these two films are not Christmas movies, even though they do not directly involve Santa Claus or retell A Christmas Carol. The reason these movies are undeniable Christmas movies is because of two things: their settings and their themes. Home Alone is a movie about a young boy who, after a series of unfortunate events, ends up home alone over the Christmas holiday. While home alone, he's forced to defend his home from these bumbling bandits while his mother desperately tries to get back to her son. Christmas Vacation, in turn, is a wacky comedy about a standard suburban family hosting a gang of goofy in-laws for Christmas. The setting doesn't need belaboring. Both films take place during Christmas, and there is Christmas imagery scattered throughout the films. It's the themes that these films share that make these classic Christmas movies. Home Alone is about protecting your home and the importance of family. Little Kevin McAllister begins the film fed up with his family. He is often overlooked and the butt of his family jokes. He's happy when his family mysteriously disappears, now having the freedom to watch R rated movies and eat entire cheese pizzas. But when a larger threat to his home emerges, Kevin realizes how important family really is. He fights tooth and nail to protect his home, not just for him, but for his family. The film ends with the entire McAllister clan finally being reunited on Christmas Day in front of their palatial estate. Christmas Vacation is a little more cynical, but shares many of these same themes. The holiday week grows more and more chaotic for the Griswold family as more and more members of their extended family begin to arrive at their home. The film's third act involves a disastrous Christmas Eve dinner and a bum bonus from a smarmy boss. After everything goes wrong, Christmas Vacation finally culminates with the family putting aside their differences and realizing it's a blessing to be with family, the people you love, during the holidays. Clark Griswold has become a better man through this experience and learned to accept his wacky family, even if that family involves your crazy cousin Eddie. Now, Die Hard is not a comedy, and I believe this is what gives so many people pause about putting it into the Christmas movie category, but the film shares most, if not all, of the same themes as a standard Christmas movie. John McClane arrives at Nakatomi Plaza to reunite with his estranged wife. He is there to spend Christmas with his wife and children when a greater conflict arises that threatens more than just their happy holiday. McClane is forced to fight for his family. He must physically use his wits and cunning to protect what is important to him, his family. The film ends with John and his wife Holly embracing on Christmas morning before heading back to their family to spend the holiday together. It sure sounds like a Christmas movie to me. Die Hard is an action movie, but it's also a standard run-of-the-mill family Christmas flick. Maybe the creators didn't plan this, but the film contains every aspect of the genre. The movie is filled with Christmas imagery. There are trees in the office, garland everywhere, Christmas lights throughout the Nakatomi Plaza. These set dressings are located in an office building instead of a small town, but that doesn't make them ineffective holiday effects. And the theme of Die Hard, the overall arcing narrative, is quintessential Christmas movie fodder. Bruce Willis and John McClane fights for his wife and family from a greater threat. McClane goes to great lengths to save his family, and in the end, he becomes a better man. Die Hard trades in slapstick comedy for machine gun fights, but retains the overall themes and settings of a standard Christmas movie. This debate will probably continue to rage on, but for my money, Die Hard is as much a Christmas movie as Home Alone or Christmas Vacation. It just uses action as its vehicle for Christmas themes instead of comedy. Some Christmas recommendations for some other holiday alternative movies, maybe in case you're sick of watching Elf and Christmas Vacation over and over this time of year. Some movies I might recommend. First is the movie Go. Go is a 1999 film that has this Pulp Fiction style framing device. It takes place over the Christmas holiday and it follows three different distinct stories, all kind of centered around the Los Angeles drug trade and people going to raves and partying. It stars a young Timothy Olyphant, a young Katie Holmes, a young Breckin Meyer, a young Jane Krakowski, and Melissa McCarthy in her film debut. It's a great film and a fun one to watch around this time of year. Another one is Batman Returns. A lot of people, when they think about Tim Burton and they think about Christmas, they go straight to A Nightmare Before Christmas. But people often forget Batman Returns takes place during Christmas time, and no one captures that goth Christmas aesthetic the way Tim Burton does. Batman Returns is a super fun superhero genre flick, but there's also some really deeper themes in there, themes of prosperity and poverty. We see that through the character of the Penguin. There's even some LGBTQ themes and themes of gender identity in the character of Catwoman, played by Michelle Pfeiffer. Last I would recommend is a movie called Reindeer Games that stars Ben Affleck and Charlize Theron. Reindeer Games is a John Frankenheimer film from 2000, and it is really just a standard action heist movie that happens to take place at Christmas. I would not put it in the Christmas movie genre, but it is certainly an alternative Christmas title, and it is a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for listening to Create Context Weekly Movie Minute. Again, we are brought to you by create-context.com. A link will be in the description. Go check it out for more film reviews and analysis.